Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today looking at, in fact, an age-old question, and that is, how do classic race cars compare to, well, modern road cars? Take this lightweight Jaguar, for example. Yes, in its day it was a very, very fast race car, but technology has moved on an awful lot since the E-Type was new, so how would it fare compared to a modern car that would be road legal that you would see around the place? We've got a series of these for a little bit of fun. Now, the PIs of the cars have been kept relatively close. In general, when we've done this in the past, the classic cars have been very, very quick. They've been nigh on unbeatable, often to do with the fact that they are unbelievably light. So, for this one, the PI of the road cars is a little bit higher for the majority of them, I think. We'll see how it goes. Should be interesting. We start off with a Civic. That is our competition here. This is a sort of, is it Grand Tour? Top Gear, I can't remember, that had the Civic and the classic race cars. So we've kind of, I can't even remember which one it was on now. But anyway, we've kind of got a little homage almost going on from that one. I am driving the race cars to start with. I like the lightweight E-Type. It is a very, I say I like it. I mean, of course I like the car. It does not really drive to my personal preference in that it tends to be quite an oversteery bugger. But we will see how it fares here. It's got very little in the way of weight, funnily enough, as the name would suggest. Expecting it to be quick down the sort of straight acceleration zones, be quicker than the Civic. However, the Honda is likely to be a little bit more composed in the corners. I mean, that's fair enough, really. That's a 2016 Civic Type R we have racing against us. It is considerably newer than my Jag. More than the Jags. Oh, Pega got a little bit squeezed up into the wall there. This is a problem for the E-Types, is that we have not set off particularly well. I feel like we've got pace in these cars. We have been a little bit stuck in the pack. We're looking for, well, Pega's out wide and in a smidge of trouble. If we can find our way past Stevie and Aaron, that would be good for us. I think maybe I mean, there's going to be an element of, ooh, back end was doing its own thing. It's going to be an element that you can never get away from it. Some tracks might favour some different cars, and this might not be a track for the E-Types. That is quite possibly the case. I think we might not quite have the grip, for example, through there. Oh dear. They are a handful, smidge through that section. Come on. Let's try and get... Oh, Rusky's very sideways. Well, now we've got E-Type stumbling over other E-Types. Let's see if we can get into this fight here. That's a little too late under brakes, isn't it? Rusky's going to come back. But we're having a great little battle ourselves here. It's a wonderful battle between these... Jag. We're just going to make the move stick on Rusky. Aaron's in trouble. That's going to put me in trouble. Rusky, oh... I had all sorts of compromises through there. Oh, bloody hell. Now Pega's going to get all of us. I had to bail and try to avoid Aaron, but then I was all over the place trying to get myself back under control. Around the outside there is going to be Brave. You can see how much grip the Civic has. You can just dive in a little bit more through that turn one. And then Pega's now side by side. We're trying to have a look here. Yeah, sadly... I don't think we've quite got the pace around this track. Come on, get out of this next corner nicely if we can. Unfortunately, we're too far back to be having a look at getting past Aaron. A little bit late under brakes. Maybe try and go for a little bit of a late apex, although we were just too late under brakes to really get the car turned down for that one. We're going to try and follow it. If Impega can open the door anywhere, we'll try and follow through in that one. But, yeah, we're just not quite close enough. Aaron has run wide and clonked the wall a smidge. Don't miss the checkpoint, trying to be greedy. We know the Civic's going to be late under brakes. Oh, don't screw over our teammate. However, we also want to get past the Honda if at all possible, and we have! They've found a way past the Honda. I mean, if we can get past Impega here as well, I will take a 7th position, because there is still, for the honour of the Jags in this. In fact, Rusky's made the most of the opportunity to sneak away past back there, which, you know, is something. In fact, as Chris and Gliska have really fought each other a lot, we have closed up to this battle. Maybe we can sneak our way past. The Hondas are just a little bit too fast for us here. Chris has made a right meal out of that corner and is slowing Gliska down a lot. We're going to slide a smidge through there. Oh god, didn't want to press that button. Come on, find the gear that we want in there. Alright, 1 lap to go. Can we chase down the cars ahead? Will the one Civic stuck amongst the Jags be able to... I think it's just got too much traffic. I mean, we saw Stevie has disappeared off into the distance a little bit, but while stuck in traffic could not really do all that much about getting clear for a couple of laps. Once they were clear, has been able to pull away, but you can lose a lot of time just stuck in traffic. I don't know whether I'm on 3rd or 2nd through here. We've got a great run up the hill though on Chris, who has bumped the wall, and we will definitely have a go to the inside at the hairpin. Chris wanted to close the door on us, so we've all ended up into pushing Gliska wide. I'm going to try and let Gliska go without letting Chris go, which has actually worked, amazingly. I think Chris has actually got completely swamped by the whole pack. If we can do anything in the final quarter to get past Gliska, it'll be impressive, because there's not much grip in these. Although Gliska's sliding, we've got a really good run through there. Can we do anything? It's the outside through here, though. It's the run to the line. It's not quite going to be enough. Impega almost had us all as well. A great battle for the E-types. Sadly, is it giving that to Impega? Well, we ignore that, because that's not right. We fought hard to stay ahead of Impega in that one. The good old finish line nonsense has occurred. No, it hasn't. Never mind. Why do I think we're fighting over 4th? I take it back. Impega got fastest lap of the E-types, but... no, we could not match. We're not even close to matching the Civics. The Civics, they were the way to go in that battle. For our 2nd race, we moved something a little bit faster. I'm driving Ford GT40. This is the Mark 1 version, and we are up against a BMW M4. Now, we've got Chris, of course, has got the slightly wrong GT4. The M4 is notoriously bad in Forza games. It's very noisy, but it is... I guess we've got... you know what, it wasn't quite supposed to be in that one. However, it will at least add some variety. The M4 tends to have been over-PI'd from my experience of it in previous games, hence why we're running it here. Now, it shouldn't match the GT40 in terms of straight line speed. Well, I forgot this season we've got the big puddle going on. It should struggle to match the GT40 in terms of straight line speed, although maybe I'm wrong in that one, like actual serious top end. Handling is going to be curious. The Ford is considerably lighter. Oh dear, but of course much older. I mean, I think we were going to struggle to get stopped there, but Liam really helped us in the braking zone on that one. Yeah, so we've got a lot less weight to get through these corners. However, of course, we don't have the tyres that the BMW has, or the brakes that the BMW has, the sophisticated stuff that, of course, the modern cars do. Ooh, Impega's going for it. You know what, Impega, if you're quicker than I am, I'm happy to let you go. I did not know where I needed to brake in this one. Of course, this track is perhaps more likely to favour the Fords a little bit. It is a faster track here than that previous circuit. A little bit more about top speed. Gliska leads the way. It's 3 wide for 2nd place. I don't think Longbow knows there's a Ford on the inside. We may be able to profit massively here if everyone stumbles over each other, because we're completely... although we're going to have to go all the way to the inside, and now it's our turn to be squeezed down the bottom. Oh, we only just made it. Liam's going in a puddle through here. It's not going to work. We're still 3 wide. Where is Impega? Because it might be Impega's turn. Oh, it's out. It's not going to work for us. We're going to find the wall. Oh, there's madness behind. I'd say it is working. I'm going to brake a bit earlier. Oh, God, down there. Liam is out into the wall. Sorry, Lee, I didn't realise you're going to quite ping back as far onto the... I say, I was fully committed to that corner at the point I was turning in. I didn't realise Liam was going as wide as they were. Right, we are going to try and chase down Longbow here if we can. The BMW is definitely better in places. I feel like BMW's strength may well be consistency. And that may be another thing that comes into play a little bit. The modern cars are just easier to drive hard. They're easier to drive without mistakes. Whereas this thing, I don't know, it's to be expected. Maybe this is a little faster when you get it perfect, but you don't always get it perfect. Because it moves around a lot, it's difficult to judge the braking and everything. Oh god, like that. Liam's going to get underneath us, because I just was a little late getting that turned in. Come on, we can go chasing. We want to do well for the Ford. I mean, this is not really my sort of car normally. These are not really the sort of vehicles I tend to go for in terms of builds, in terms of driving style and everything. But we want to put on a good performance for the GT40. I like the GT40. It's a wonderful piece of machinery, this. So we want to do well. And the M4 has never really clicked for me, personally. Oh dear, I'm going to do exactly... I was on the same line as Longbow was, hit the same wall. Now, if Liam and Longbow want to slow each other down, I'd be cool with that. I mean, Pega may have missed a checkpoint. If in all of that pushing and squeezing a checkpoint... I hope I didn't push anyone out of a checkpoint, but it's not impossible that in all the mayhem I did, and if I did, I'm incredibly sorry. Not what I would want to be doing. It's side by side for the two Beamers, which is what I want to see, and definitely what Gliska wants to see at the lead of the race, because if they keep doing that, slows them down, lets Gliska get away, also allows me to maybe get into the fight for a spot on the podium. Don't think I needed second, third would have worked through there. We're definitely, got a good spread of vehicles currently, which is what we want. Oh, got a little too brave. I mean, I wanted to turn in as tight as I could to the puddle. I just turned in a little bit too soon there. Now, are those two going to run themselves wide into turn whatever through? I always want to call it turn one, but it's not really. It's just the first big braking zone part that comes up. I struggled with understeer a little bit through here last lap around, and indeed, not quite got the line set through there, have I? Gliska's been caught a little bit by Liam. Liam's got some pace going on now. It is dangerous times for the GT40s. Gliska's out wide, and I'm going to follow a little bit. Longbow's even wider than I am, and Liam is going to get to the lead of the race, and we're not there to back anybody up. We're just starting to struggle a little bit with the Ford. I thought Liam was going to brush the wall. Gliska's out wide. I just can't quite keep up. I feel like the BMWs have just accessed a tiny little bit of pace that I myself don't have. I'm not saying the car can't do it. I think Impega probably can do it by the looks of the speed they've caught back up through the field. Longbow's playing it super dangerous with the building. I'm just struggling to get the speed in this car at the moment. We may... there's the final lap. Impega might not quite be able to catch us before the end of this one. Trying everything we can. The Fords are pretty good through there, which kind of surprises me. I guess because they're so light. The brakes might be very old, but there's just so much less car to stop. They struggle through... really struggle through there to carry the speed that... certainly that the BMWs are carrying, but that some of the other Fords are carrying as well. I just can't quite get it through the corner. I am perhaps being a little cautious in places, just trying not to make mistakes. Gliska's out wide, and I'm out wide as well. We clonk the wall. It's all got a little bit wrong at the end for me. It's been a bit scruffy. We were kind of there or thereabouts, but we've not had the best driven final lap, and I hit the pile of wood on the inside at that bloody corner. Ah, Gliska's unlucky and has slipped to third at the end. These things are not the easiest, perhaps to be expected. The Ford's not the easiest to drive. I struggled to really make the most of that car. It didn't really suit me personally. There was some speed in it. We put up a damn good fight, the GT40 and that M4. We put up a very good fight indeed, and Impego wouldn't quite get fastest lap, but not far off. Yeah. I just couldn't. I personally just couldn't get to grips with that car. But there was a good fun race. I think the Fords maybe could be a smidge faster when everything went well, but the BMW is a lot easier to access that performance. Good fun. So it is my turn to swap over and drive the road car. We have got the TVR Griffith up against the Lola T70. I mean, we know the Lola is going to be a beast down the straights. The TVR, I mean, I know it technically doesn't exist yet. It might never, because every couple of years they say they're going to make it, and then it sort of appears briefly and then goes into hiding again. Either way, it's supposed to be a road car if it does ever appear. It's just some fun, quirky British stuff, essentially. And we'll see how the Lola goes. It's going to be quick off the line. It's going to be light. It's going to be a real case of, does it have the control? What are the tyres going to be like through these turns in comparison to the more planted and, you know, potentially easier, can't believe I'm saying this, but the potentially easier to drive TVR. Again, it will all come down to who can extract the most out of their vehicles. God, Liam's having a go to the inside of Impega there. There's not much space. I mean, the Griffith has got the grip. We've just sawed up the inside of Liam there. Do we... No, not going to make much happen here. We may get to the inside of a Longbow. Oh, God, I don't know this track very well. Don't drive this one very often. Which is the inside of Longbow, but now we're on a straight. And there goes Longbow, and there goes Liam as well with their Lolas. And there's nothing I can do. We'll just have to sit back here and kind of follow them. We don't really want to get stuck behind them in the corners if we can help it. Liam's going to miss a checkpoint. Never mind, we have got entangled with that. Bloody hell. I feel like, to be fair, there's a little bit, it might work a little bit for both of us here, in that a battle between a Lola and a TVR is not good for either of us. TVR messes up with the Lola through the corners because we're just carrying more speed. But the Lola can get in our way as well at places like this, for example. Especially I've got two Lolas either side of me. Stevie was fighting the flag for the Lolas, but has dropped back a little bit. I'm just ensnared in an annoying battle. If I can get clear of Liam and Longbow, we've definitely got pace. Don't think Liam knew we were there this time around. I mean, it's understandable, we were a little bit further back. We will get a dive and complete a pass here. And this, much like the first race, when we get to this twistier sort of style track, the race cars struggle. They can still cause us bloody grief. Oh, now we're going to get stuck again, aren't we? Because we're going up towards the twisty bits, which I'm going to struggle to make the most of, because I've got to really work my way through. Rusky and Gliska are long gone. Impega's done really well, actually, to get up to third. Pega did a way better job than me of carving through the field. Right, can we be... Not going to be flat through there, especially not if I want to try and duck underneath the T70 on the exit. We will have a look at turn 1, and we will be past Liam, and we will try and get past Longbow. The problem is I had to lift because Longbow was understeering out towards me, and then Liam's come back past. This is a fun... it's a great battle, but we can just not make any forward progress, because I pass one Lola, get stuck behind the next, and the one behind me repasses me. This time might work. This time we might finally have got the move done on both of them. Make the most of the TVR's grip at a critical place, and we will move ourselves up into a 6th position. If we can pass Stevie, I believe it will be all the TVRs up at the front. Although we are about to get murdered on the next straight. This is the one bit where the Lolas are quick. We're going to have to send it to the inside of Longbow here, which we should be able to do. And indeed, we make it work. We will reclaim that 6th position. Can we go chasing off after Stevie before the end of the race? I think we probably can. You can see the speed actually through there is where the Lola struggles. When you haven't got two of them in front of you, funnily enough, you can be a fair bit braver in the TVR. And yeah, all of their power. This is a track I don't actually know very well. No, I say one of the reasons why I picked it because don't use it often. You can see where those Lolas are struggling. They just, like down here for example, they just simply cannot carry the speed. They've got monstrous amounts of power. They can out-accelerate the Griffith just about anywhere, but they cannot carry that momentum through the corners. And yeah, they lose too much time in these twisty sections. that when we come up the hill here, for example, yes, it'll close, but it won't be enough. We've got one more lap to see if we could potentially chase down you, and I think the gap's going to be too big. We'll give it a try, though. You never know what might happen. All it takes is a little mistake and us to be in the right place at the right time. I don't know why I've not driven this track too much, because it's actually quite a fun circuit. It's a fast track. It's a quick track, but it's a track that definitely requires grip. This is not a power circuit by any stretch of the imagination. Is it starting to get dark as well? I didn't really pick the time of day very good for this one. In fact, I think we've fallen back behind. I've had a terrible start to this lap. Let's just not get past. Let's not be... I think Chris should have been in a TVR, but Chris disconnected at some point. So I guess technically there is one TVR behind all the Lolas because it's a dump. But yeah, let's try and not be the only TVR beaten by a Lola. Liam has got some speed going on with that car. Liam has actually got some real pace with that. Longbow and Stevie have dropped back. I know I've had a bad lap here, which will have helped close the gap. But I'm definitely a little bit worried about that. I don't think, because the final corner is very quick here, and I don't think the Lola can carry the speed, although Liam's done a hell of a job. Liam is flying with that thing. I think a little bit like the GT40. The Lola could be fast, but it was very, very, very difficult to get the speed out of it, especially around a track like that one. I didn't drive great with the TVR by the end. Yeah, I mean, Liam's lap time is not very far off, although you can see Liam found the pace with that, and everyone else was struggling. How much of that... That's damn impressive, that speed difference. I should have done better. I didn't really drive very well with that Griffith there. We were in fights a lot of the time. TVR, the road cars definitely won that one, but there was pace in the Lola, just very difficult to get to it. So, for our final race, we have the battle of the Porsches. A 911 GT3 RS up against the 917 LH. I mean, the road cars are going to be very good handling here, but they are going to be down on straight line speed. This is a tough test for them because, I mean, there are some long straights here for those 917s to stretch their legs. I mean, they're much, much lighter. I think they have slightly less power, perhaps, in the GT3, but they're so much lighter than these modern road cars. They're going to launch off the line. Once they get some traction, they're going to fly forward, but they're going to be a handful when it gets to the corners. They're not going to be able to carry the same speed. We're hoping over the course of a lap, it should be an interesting battle. It could be an infuriating battle if you're stuck behind the 917s. I mean, we can be flat through here, and I don't know if they can be. Definitely more of a handful. I don't know where we're going to come out in ghost mode with Aaron here. Impega's stuck out wide. Gliska's to the inside. I'm going to try and make something work. We're busy fighting away with Aaron there, trying to get a place. Here comes Liam with the black. I mean, they look like bloody spaceships, those 917s. Not going to lie. See, we can carry speed on the exit, but where am I going to put the car? Probably I can't really do much. Liam's going to miss a checkpoint if they're not careful. Not intentional there. Yeah, I don't think Gliska knew there was Liam approaching with such speed. Because we can close through these corners. Now comes the power of the 917s, but they're not going to be able to take anywhere near as much momentum around this final corner as I can. The problem is, of course, if there's one on the inside of me, I have to lift in an awkward manner. You see Rusty carrying crazy amounts of speed because they didn't have to lift. Longbow's out wide at turn 1. He's going to go for a cutback maybe on the exit. Gets a little bit blocked in behind Gliska. We need to stay away from Aaron and, well, a recovering Liam wherever Liam ends up in all of this. Longbow's struggling for grip in that thing. It's a monstrous vehicle. I mean, it's kind of the recurring theme that we see that we have seen before with these. A race car is a brute down the straights, an absolute handful in the corners, and you kind of hold on for dear life. If anything, the GT3s are starting, although just look at the power of that thing. It's just gone. I mean, if Longbow can get to the inside at the final corner, could potentially give some trouble to Gliska and Impega. Because you see, as they fight each other, there goes that 917. It's going to slow them down, although did Longbow have to lift? Maybe. as there's a little bit of paint swapping going on. I can't be flat through that final corner, unfortunately. We pulled a smidge clear of Rusky. Ewan's battling away with Speed Beast. Longbow wants to have a go at turn 1. I'm actually surprised Longbow wasn't able to just outrun Gliska down to the first corner. I was expecting that to just go past. Now, as we sort ourselves out for the run towards the bridge, where are we going to be able to do anything here if we can? It's a big dive from a very long way back. We can carry the speed through the corner. We're going to get repassed though, and that's the problem. Longbow will just go soaring back past, and I've got to be careful in my fight with Longbow. I don't leave the door open too much for Rusky to have a look, which I kind of did a little bit. I was going for the sort of dive back across line. Didn't quite time it right. Longbow struggling with grip through there. We're going to end up almost kissing the wall. We do not, and off goes there. I mean, it's an infuriating race for Longbow in some ways, because they're actually not able to make the most out of the speed in that in some places, because they've got to lift off, otherwise they're going to crash into the back of a GT3 RS. It's a frustrating race for me, because I'm now stuck at the point where I now can't make the most of my car in this place, because I can't jump on the throttle as soon as I want there, and we might come under threat from the car behind if we're not careful. We will be flat through here. We're going to have to defend a little bit from Rusky, which is a problem, because I want to go on the offensive against Longbow if I can. We have got, so got a little bit of help into this corner. We'll get the run on the exit, but it won't matter, because I can't close the door. The 917 again gets the drive off the corner. Can we duck underneath here? We will. We will draw alongside, and then Longbow will piss off into the distance. It's a fun battle, but it's not a battle that's really conducive for good lap time here. We will make a mess of this corner. That was all sorts of wrong. Through there, I turned in a bit too soon. Made a terrible line. Through all of that. Okay. We head up towards now the final lap of the race and our last chance. Where is it going to... Where is a pass going to happen? If we're going to pass Longbow, it's going to be onto the bridge, and it has to happen, and it has to happen cleanly. We're going to... I mean, we will go from a long way back to try and make this pass work. We know where Longbow's going to struggle. A smidge, it'll be here. If we are nicely done through here, which we are, we're not close enough, I don't think. I think Longbow's too far away, because even if we carry amazing amounts of speed onto the bridge, which I try, it's just not going to put us close enough. In fact, Longbow's had a better lap this time. We're not close enough to have a look anywhere, unless Longbow makes a mistake somewhere. I think it's going to be a 917 on the podium, and Pegger's going to take victory from Gliska. I think we've been pretty similar in terms of lap times. I'm not quite, perhaps not quite as quick as the top two, although we have been battling a little bit in places. Rusky is right behind us. In fact, Rusky's got a good run, is going to be on the outside for the final corner. Longbow tried to have a look around the outside of the final corner. It didn't work. Rusky ran out of grip and couldn't make it happen either. That was good fun, actually. I really enjoyed that race. That was perfect. That is everything we wanted, really, from a road car versus race car. I mean, Liam would have been up there in that fight had they not, unfortunately, missed a checkpoint. I think Gliska just got surprised by the speed that thing was closing. Yeah, Liam with fastest lap of the race, 101.6. Blisteringly quick. I mean, me and Longbow set near identical lap times, and we're only a couple of tenths off. In fact, Ewan was up there with a 102.6 as well. We're already a couple of tenths off the likes of Pegger. Yeah. Well, there we go. In fact, yeah, Stevie was quick as well. 102 dead. Just got stuck in traffic a little bit. Yeah. That was some good fun racing and all of that. So, what can we draw from all of this? I mean, okay, as far as conclusion goes, yes, you could use different road cars against different classic race cars for a different balance level, but we did see generally a couple of overarching themes. The race cars were faster on the more power-based circuits. Because of their very high power-to-weight ratio in comparison to the road cars, they were generally very quick down the straights, much better acceleration, much higher top speeds. The GT40 actually didn't have a crazy higher top speed than the BM, but that was under braking. The Ford was very good. I'm presuming something to do with it being so very light in comparison. Yeah, the general rule of thumb was around the power circuits of race cars would be very fast. When it got to the twisty stuff, they struggled, and that's not a surprise, really. You know, they're on much, much older tyres than their modern counterparts, if you will. So, yeah, that's I say kind of to be expected. I mean, the other big thing is, of course, the ease at which to get lap speed from the cars. The modern road cars, funnily enough, were a lot easier to get speed and easier to drive consistently. The Lola was a great example. Liam did manage to do a very, very quick lap with that Lola. But it was very difficult to do that. I was the only one able to quite get that level of speed. But to do that lap after lap after lap is very difficult because, well, they're quite difficult to drive. Again, to be expected. But, yeah, they were quite the handful, whereas the modern cars, you're able to be a lot more consistent with over multiple laps and so on. I mean, overall, it was fun to do. It's always fun to see, you know, classic cars up against modern cars and see the comparison, see how much technology has, I say, moved on, so to speak. But yeah, if you want something that's easier to drive, funnily enough, the modern cars are going to be the way to go. However, on the right track, those classic race machines could still give them a very good run for their money. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.